What's up, Guardians? Profane here. Thanks for checking out the video. Over the last few weeks, a lot of viewers have asked should they buy the Witch Queen DLC, and if so, should they purchase the pre-order with all of its fireworks and flair, or should they hold out? So today I wanted to take some time to address this legitimate concern that many Guardians out there are having, and we'll take a look at everything we know so far, spoilers included, so that you as an individual Guardian can properly make that decision, because there are a lot of factors at play. Of course, the most relevant being your expected playtime. Whether you're a Guardian who will take a week off from work just to dedicate to the release of the Witch Queen, or a Guardian who's just going to play casually from time to time with your friends. But beyond these simple relevances, there are a ton of other contributing factors in this new age of video gaming, and we find ourselves in a heavily saturated market, with new games and expansions popping up everywhere we turn, all with greedy hands waiting for your dollar, and once more asking you for another dollar when you come to find that microtransactions have become the social norm of video games. And Destiny is no saint when it comes to microtransactions and segregating its content. So to get a fair perspective before answering this question, let's take a look at the past to better see the future. Going back through the previous 3 expansions, we have Beyond Light, which introduced stasis both for Guardians but for our enemies as well. It provided us with an overall fulfilling storyline and campaign, but it did kind of fail in my mind through its raids, the Deepstone Crypt, and it certainly failed in comparison to discoverable items and puzzles and hidden wells. While we did see the Presage provide moderate levels of puzzle and intrigue, it just wasn't the same that Guardians enjoyed when dredging through to earn the Whisper of the Worm or the Outbreak Perfected. Now further back we have Shadowkeep, which brought us back to the moon, an expansion that was littered with discoverables and puzzles that undoubtedly was made popular just due to the nostalgic factor that many veteran Guardians enjoyed. While its overall campaign was rather short, Shadowkeep introduced new gaming styles through hunts and the Altar of Sorrows, and brought a new enemy type by means of champions, with a whole new onslaught of new generation exotics like Ariana's Vow and Symmetry, and a whole new generation of mods. And even further back we have Forsaken, personally my favorite expansion to date. Forsaken was also just broken up into a Forsaken pack, so that Bungie could continue to profit off of its main selling points before sending the rest of its content to a content vault. Forsaken brought one of the grittiest and compelling campaigns that highlighted with the death of Cade. Forsaken brought us the Tangled Shore and the Dreaming City, along with the Ascendant Plane, along with new narratives that have become pathways to what we are still discovering in Season of the Lost. Along with a ton of new areas to discover, Forsaken gave us new Middle Tree subclasses, which were much needed at the time to recreate the playstyle of Guardians. This is also when the lore became a major aspect, and our triumphs became far more expansive. So, in perspective, it's important to remember that like these 3 expansions, Witch Queen will create big waves in the game of Destiny as a major expansion, and this is where the spoilers come into play for those who choose to wait. The last several years now, Guardians have played this cat and mouse game with Savathûn, and now the Witch Queen looks to finally dive fully into this narrative, with what should be a thrilling one, as we now know that Savathûn's exorcism was just another form of deception to give her the ability to capture the light for herself and imbue her hive forces with it, much like we saw Aramis do with Stasis in Beyond Light. but this will hit home a little harder for Guardians, as it's the power of the light that our enemy will now use against us, which beckons the expectation that Witch Queen will introduce an evolution into the darkness subclasses at some point. We already know that we're going to have a revamp of the Void subclasses, so at some point it's safe to presume that Witch Queen will end up introducing new subclasses. Like its predecessors, Witch Queen will introduce new worlds and social environments, new exotics, new discoverables, new mods, hidden elements like quests, Easter eggs, lore, all of the things that we've seen Bungie produce in the past, but with a new twist, especially since we now have a content vault, which gives Bungie the ability to go back and take particular items of content and revamp them and re-release them into new content. For example, the new weapon crafting system that Witch Queen will introduce. Destiny 1 Guardians will remember when Banshee offered weapon crafting systems. And through those weapon crafting systems, we found that there were several exotic quests that kind of set the standards for what we expect out of quests now. An old system given some revisions and made anew. So now, Guardians will likely say goodbye to those Umbral recasters, as Witch Queen will be giving you an entirely new, updated system to earn and create weapons such as the glaive. Now, for the cosmetic minded, there will be new armor, new ornaments, new shaders, new ships, sparrows, all of that jazz, but not all without a cost, as to be expected with the new age of Eververse. Whether purchased by pre-order, day of release, or 3 months after the fact, there will be items that will be for free, but there's going to be a lot more items that are just simply locked away behind an unbreakable paywall. It's the inevitable truth. So if you want all of the bells and whistles, if you don't want to be the kid in the sandbox not getting to play with the cool new toys, you're going to have to fork out the money. But ultimately, in my opinion, from what Bungie has shown us in the past, it ends up being far more lucrative for you to purchase the things in the beginning than to purchase them after the fact. What will really play a factor in the success of Witch Queen for me will be its playability after the campaign is over. What are Guardians going to do after they've beaten Zavathun or beaten this campaign? What are we going to do in Crucible? What are we going to do in Gambit? What are our raids going to be like, and what are our dungeons going to be like? What are our weekly challenges going to be like? Are these going to be things that continue to bring Guardians in week after week? Or are they going to flourish out and produce just a couple of weeks of content followed by long streams of nothingness? That's really the inevitable truth of this. What kind of content is Bungie bringing to the table? The mere fact that it is a major expansion is very exciting, but what can we really expect? Is it just going to be more revamped Destiny 2 content that we've already seen? Or will we get tried and true new content? And outside of its playability, my biggest concern is the RNG factor. I'm never jumping off of the RNG fairness train, by the way. Come on, Bungie. No one should have to do an encounter 100 times without reaping its best rewards. So I only hope that Witch Queen provides us with enough legitimate content that is not all locked behind some ridiculously unfair RNG wheel. I digress with that one though. As we bring this full circle, I think it's important to remember that Witch Queen is a major expansion. This isn't a season pass or just a 1 or 2 month gap. The content that was featured in Forsaken is still being played today, even by first-timers. So Witch Queen will be played for years to come. And like we have seen recently with the Forsaken pack, you can't expect that Bungie is going to give much of Witch Queen out for free. So to make my final point, Guardians, if you call yourself a Guardian, then there's really no question. You should buy the Witch Queen DLC. And ultimately, if you want to save yourself money later on and not run the risk of missing out because of content vaulting, then you're really better off buying the pre-order, which gives you the anniversary pack and the first 3 seasons, which definitely increases its overall value to me. If you're a Guardian that just doesn't play very much, that you're okay doing, maybe an hour of Destiny a week, if that, then I don't think the pre-order is really for you. In all likelihood, you should honestly wait until the DLC drops. That's just my honest opinion if you're a Guardian who just doesn't play very much. But if you're a Guardian who finds themselves playing quite a bit, yeah, it's $100 American, but if you wait and purchase all of the shit individually, you're gonna end up missing out or paying more. And that's just how Bungie's logic is right now. But that's enough of me rambling on. I'd love to hear what you guys think and what your hopes and expectations for Witch Queen are. Let me know in the comments below. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If so, be sure to hit the like button below along with the subscribe button as well. Both are greatly appreciated and help support the channel. And unless something unexpected happens, this will likely be my last video of the year outside of a quick Xur video tomorrow. So I want to say thank you to everyone out there. This year has been incredible, and the support that you have given me since returning this year has been insane. And I have you guys to thank for that. So thank you so much. I hope you guys are having an amazing holiday season. I hope you have a great New Year's. Make some good resolutions and stick to them. And until next year, Guardians, this has been Profane, wishing you some happy hunting.